Chapter 2. As the sexual haze slowly cleared from his mind and the muscles in his body relaxed, the first thing that came to Dr. Cam Spencer's mind was, well, that was something. A mate. How fascinating. As a man of science, the very idea of some kind of magical higher power controlling one's fate and choosing one's lifetime partner should have been horrifying to him. However, he couldn't say he was entirely opposed to the idea. He'd heard stories and even met one or two colleagues who'd experienced the bond of fated mates, and it fascinated him on an intellectual level, because surely there was some kind of scientific explanation to the consuming need, overwhelming attraction, and urgency to procreate with just one particular person. Perhaps something in shifter physiology could detect the pheromones of the most ideal partner to breed with. Or maybe the correct combination of hormones and body chemistry set off some kind of reaction. A thorough study with subjects, experimentation, and trials could unlock the mystery behind mates and this pseudo-metaphysical bond that supposedly formed and linked their souls. Of course, when he said all that aloud to his colleagues, they looked horrified and objected immediately. Cam didn't see what all the fuss was about. Shifters were biological creatures, after all, and he should know. He was one of them. Yes, he'd always thought it was a shame mating and bonding was one of those things that shifters found so private that no one wanted to study it. Think of the possibilities and applications, he had told his colleagues. But none of them were persuaded, and they became even more outraged at the idea that something as precious and sacred as bonded mates could be put to the test of the scientific method. If Cam weren't already mired in the study of ecology and preservation, he would have considered pursuing such research. But now, his polar bear roared in protest. Sharing his body with a wild beast could be an advantage at times, especially when conducting fieldwork, but it could also be exasperating, such as now when the damned thing suddenly turned protective of their mate. Their mate. The awareness of the soft body beneath his jolted him. He blinked at the hand in front of his face. No high five then? How about— Oh! With his shifter's speed, he slid off the table and dragged her up with him, flipping her over to face him. Those eyes, mostly light brown with large gray flecks, that entranced him the moment he'd seen them, threatened to overwhelm him again. Mine, his polar bear roared, and her animal acknowledged it with a slow, languid mine. Despite the fact that his lust had been sated mere moments ago, he wanted her again, wanted to be inside her, to feel her lips on his, lick at her skin, and— Whoa! She planted her hands on his chest. Slow down, champ. His cock bobbed painfully against her belly, and he took a step back. Pardon me, he said, clearing his throat. For God's sake, he scolded himself silently. You're a grown man of 36 with 2 PhDs. Stop thinking with your damned cock for 2 seconds. He'd never lost control like he just had. But the moment their eyes met that first time, it was as if he lost his senses, and the only thing he knew was that he had to have her. And now the need continued to grow inside him, as did other parts, but he let his logical, human side take over. You can do this. Straightening his shoulders, he cleared his throat. My apologies, miss. I think we're way past formalities at this point, don't you think? A blonde brow raised at him. But knowing your name might be nice. Right. He paused. I'm Cameron. Dr. Cameron Spencer. But you can call me Cam. I'm J.D. McNamara. He frowned. Like Jade with a Y? No, like the letters. Holding her hands up, she shaped them with her fingers. J and D. Oh, I see. Americans, he grumbled silently. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned names like Linda or Anne or Emma? It's, lovely to meet you. Those haunted eyes regarded him, the dominant colors shifting from light brown to steel gray before she burst out laughing. That was one hell of an introduction, huh? Heat crept up his cheeks, and he ran his fingers through his hair. I didn't mean to. Obviously I did, but Cam had always prided himself on his control and discipline. He had learned from a young age to control his polar bear all on his own. After all, Mum had died young before she was able to pass the lessons shifter parents were supposed to teach their young. And his father? Well, it's all right.